Well, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing and whoever you're doing it to. It's Bushka on Blitz here for another dose of the hot salts. What are you doing? Just I'm on holidays, so there's a lot of human interaction going on in the family. I've got Junior with me most of the time here. I'm up on the northern New South Wales border with Queensland, enjoying myself immensely, just near Cabarita Beach, having a great old time, swimming, surfing, a lot of eating going on, but not much blitzing. Been taking a bit of a break, obviously. Getting some time away with the family is pretty important, and we don't want to spend the whole time on tanks. As such, we'll be having a look today at the Type 61, that's right, the Japanese medium. It's a bit of an odd one. It's got a couple of very, very, very solid characteristics, but it's really let down across the board by most of its, its other stats, its handling, its arm, and all that kind of thing. I had a rough time in this tank. I think it ended up over 60%, but mostly because it has the amazing ability to plat with a T54, and I just basically threw it into a T54 with Stealth 251, Snake Eyes, all the normal boys, Chapos, the rest of them, and they carried it along nicely. It's not a carry tank, it's a sniper tank. It's a tank that has to be played very, very carefully from the back. And it's that kind of thing that made me not really that big a fan of it. That said, you can be successful in it, and if you're going to drive down the Japanese line, you have to go through this tank. And as Snake said, I was raging about it. He said, listen, just do a review. People have to go through this line. They've got to go through this tank, and they're going to need to know how to play it. So this is basically going to be a quick look at how you play it. And you can see just how stupidly cautious I am in this thing. Going up, spotting everywhere. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is the armour. And we're going to have a look at the armour in just a wee bit. I'll talk a little bit first about my equipment choices. I'm going to have a little helper on this video. I don't know where he... Oh, hello, he's back. He's got chips. Thank you. Bushka Jr is in the house. I run binoculars on this because I do a lot of sniping. I run rammer and vents, obviously. And any time you have incoming fire, if it hits your tank, there's like a 99% chance it's going to pen you. You're absolutely hopeless in terms of deflecting, and that's an interesting one because most tanks, with all the bad armour and such and the good gun depression, they at least have a gun mantlet or something along those lines, but this really doesn't. The reason you drive through it is to get to the STB-1, which is a brilliant tank. The Set 7 Mark 1, for instance, I went back and I redrove the 7 Mark 1 and the Leopard PTA. Now, the PTA is a tough drive. It's a challenging drive. It doesn't have the gun depression that this tank has, but it is so agile and it's got so much speed, and it's actually an easier drive, I find, than a Type 61. The Set 7 Mark 1, wow, did I ever sell that tank short the first time round. I had a run in it, ran it about 75% for 25 odd games. It's a killer. It's got an absolute fantastic turret that you can bounce stuff off all the time. And although its mobility is trash and most of its arm is very weak, its gun mantlet makes up for it, and you can actually utilise the 10 degrees of gun depression, which is what the Type 61 has. However, you can see here, I'm afraid to take it anywhere near the enemy. And there's a good reason for that. When I first got it and I drove it solo, I did all right in it, but every time you try and brawl on this tank, you are going to get penned. Everyone that can shoot you can pen you. And you'll see why in a second when we have a look at the armour inspected profile. So you have to be really, really cautious. You will not have a tank where you get called coward, dog, whatever by certain young players more than you will this tank. This thing absolutely takes the cake. There is just no way around it. Couple that with the fact that its DPM is nothing to write home about. It's reasonable. It's 6.5 rounds a minute, and you really struggle. The thing it does have going for it, and you'll note how I won't use a lot of gold in these videos, it's got 268 millimetres of penetration. And you can see me here, I'm actually guarding this Object 704 is on very low hit points. I'm not letting this T54 get him. There we go. so he had to try and kill me in the end. It's got excellent gun penetration and excellent gun depression. It has very average accuracy, 0.36 dispersion. Its aim time is right around 2 seconds, so that's all right. But its armour and its mobility are both poor. Mobility's very average. It feels a lot more like a... Let's look at the armour. Here we go. That's, if it's white, it can be penned. The worrying thing here is I'm looking at this tank from the perspective of the American Tier 5 Heavy, the T1 Heavy, with its AP standard non-premium rounds, and that in fact is a Tier 9 tank that it's looking at, and it can pen it everywhere. The enormous wart on the top of the turret makes going hull down viciously difficult because anything can pen that. Nowhere on that wart is it over 100 millimeters. And even worse, this is from the Object 704's VL10 using HE. You can see how much the tank can be penned using HE. Centurions using HESH have a field day on this tank. Your armour is absolutely non-existent. You have, if you can be penned by a Tier 5 Heavy using AP, you know what I'm talking about. Anything that touches this will pen it, and it's very tall and it's very sluggish. It's got average traverse numbers, it's got average speed. There's nothing really to write home about. I hated the tank. I think it's the worst Tier 9 tank going around, but you've got to drive through it if you want the STB1, which I think is a fantastic tank, and I will eventually get to. I'll give you a quick example of a Tier 9 tank destroyer using HE. Now you can see I'm going to fire HE into the turret of the T-54 over here because he's an available shot, and the 6.5 round per minute Type 61 is going to come through and try and pump me while I'm on a reload. Now I'll zoom this in so you can watch the nearly 1,000 hit points worth of damage into the side of a Tier 9 tank with high explosive. And that is why the tank struggles against anyone who's a decent player. If you're in a dogfight, you are getting penned every single time, and your DPM is not that high. Your DPM is lower than just about every Tier 7 medium running about, like a T-43, a Comet. Well, the Comet certainly, the Chi-Ri can pen you all over, and it has better DPM. You 6.5. You mean 350?
T25 AT.
Yeah, the T25 AT can pen you. Thank you for that, Bushka Jr. You can see here the gun though, quick aim time and using binoculars and such, you can pick up spots and pick up shots, but you really can't get up anywhere near the action. Once you are near the action, if you get seen, you'll be penned, and you can look at that. I mean, the dispersion's pretty average. I don't understand why it gets penalised so often. You look at tanks like the T-54, and you just wonder where in the world the Type 61 went wrong to get treated the way it does. It does, however, have very nice pen. Same pen as a Cent 7 Mark 1 or a Leopard PTA. On its heat as well, it gets 330 penetration on its heat, which is really special. The highest you're going to get at Tier 9. But look at that. I mean, it's good if you use it well. It can be effective, but it's not a carry tank. If it's you and one other tank left at the end of the game, you better hope you've been playing conservatively like this, because if you haven't and you don't have any hit points left, you're going to really struggle. And you'll note I'm not moving. The reason being for that is I haven't been spotted yet. I've got binoculars. Everyone who gets within QE of me will pop on my radar, and if I move, I will actually blow the camo and ruin my binoculars. So I'm just basically sitting here playing the long game, conserving hit points, taking hit points. And the reason I really don't like this tank is it's a bit of a vampire tank, and you can see there the dispersion's rubbish. That hit the roof a couple of times in those shots, and they were well aimed, small reticle shots. It's a bit of a vampire tank. By that I mean it takes shots, and it's basically using the hit points of its teammates to get those shots. There's 2 of us down here versus 5. This is where you'll see the binoculars really work, because I get spots on these guys well before they get spots on me. And I'm still not having to move yet. They still haven't spotted me, all because I'm running binoculars, which is ideal for an end game like this. And I move back because I'm thinking I've probably been spotted, and that's exactly when they saw me. But we put it down to 2 on 4. What do you think? How are we going?
Not that bad.
Pretty solid?
3 and 4 now.
2 on 4 still. And there we go. We're going to get him next. Happy days. Does have good gun depression, which means you can use the side of hills and slopes like that to actually get the job done. Now, while this hasn't been a terrible thing, and we've had a reasonably good game, a lot of people get angry with tanks that sit back in the back areas of the map and snipe. You don't have a lot of choices on certain maps like this because you just can't do anything else. My real quibble with the tank is the fact that you can do this in just about any tank. It doesn't have particularly good dispersion. I mean, there's a lot of tanks like the E50 or the PTA or the Centurion 7 Mark 1, which have much better guns for doing this and have just as good a penetration values and can do a whole lot of good. But, if you're going to use this tank and you're going to play it, this is the way you've got to use it. There's no other way around it. You've got to be very, very genteel. What'd you say?
And also about that gun thing, also the Object 268.
Object 268 does have a very good gun. That is correct. I'm a big fan of the Object 268. However, that's a tank destroyer. We're talking about what type of tanks?
Oh, sorry.
Medium tanks. But rocking and rolling onwards and upwards. How do we go there?
T-43?
Yeah, T-43 is a good tank. 3,627 damage. 6 kills. So you can see if you're going to carry a game at the end, you've really got to conserve your hit points. You've got to be in a good position. And you've got to do a lot of spotting. And you'll see what I do here. Roll forward into the bush area, covered, camouflaged. Binoculars will take a second to kick in, usually about 3 or 4 seconds. And then Bob's your uncle. And we start getting spots and putting damage in. And we're utilising and exploiting game mechanics to be successful because the tank isn't particularly strong. We could have swatched over there, but we want to get the Object 704. He's by far the biggest target there. Might be the hardest pen, but you'll note we're still not using gold, are we, Oz?
Nope.
No. Still pumping out the APCR. And we finally move over and start looking at someone else. How's the holiday been so far?
Bad.
Bad? Seriously? You just got out of the pool.
Well, it's my third time, so.
Third time today in the pool. Loves the pool. Can't get enough of the pool. The Type 61 can't get enough of ridgelines. If you want to be good with it and you want to actually win some games with it, find it places where it can use that gun depression and people can't see you. Once people can see you, you will get blown off the face of the earth, and be very, very gentle with it. Sneak up on people. Be that kind of tank, the one where everyone's like, this guy sucks, he's a coward, whatever, and just keep shooting him and winning. That's your best bet. As soon as they get a shot at you, you will not bounce. You'll bounce bugger all. You're not about to win a steel wall in this thing. You are more likely to get penned by HE than anything else. You can see I'm just moving backwards.
You're about to have a wooden wall.
Wooden wall, yeah, that sounds like it. Steel wall, wooden wall, ceramic wall, paper plate wall.
Plastic wall.
Plastic wall. All these things apply to the Type 61. It's horrifically thin up top. But you see, we're still not using gold. You'll rarely need gold in it, and that's a really good thing for the grind. You won't actually lose a lot of cash. If you're platooning up with anyone, I mean, I ran a lot of tanks, a lot of games in this solo because I just wanted to get a really honest feel for it. And you have to be cautious with it. If you take chances in this tank, it is brutally unforgiving. The 54, for instance, is such a strong tank. It's got heavy tank armour profile, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, your rate of fire in this is fairly pedestrian. 6.5 rounds per minute is not going to auto-track anyone. Your alpha's solid, but, I mean, you just don't want to get up close and personal anywhere. all these games that you're going to see me playing are very much thoughtful games, games where we outthink the enemy, we put ourselves in really good positions where they can't shoot us, and then we carry on from there. And I mean, you can say it's a T62A, and that's a pretty good shot to make. If I have one real issue with the tank, apart from its armour and its mobility, it's the dispersion on the gun. I don't see any reason why the tank should be, penalised so severely across so many different categories. It's all right that if it's got really good dispersion, that it's got crap armour, but it's got very, very average dispersion. 0.36 dispersion is nothing to write home about. It makes less of a difference when you're constantly sniping and you're well and truly, fully zoned in with your aim. The bloom is at its lowest ebb, and your aim time is fairly sharp. I think it's about 1.9. So that works well for your sniping, but you really, look at that. We bounced a shot. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Buy a lottery ticket. That is honestly just never happens. And then he got tracked, didn't he? Wonderful stuff.
Bye-bye, mister.
You just can't charge up. When you get hit, you don't want to close the distance ever. You want to find cover and peekaboo them. Like you can see here, I'm not going to cross over that thing. There's a ridge there. I'm going to use the ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the most important tank to take out here, do you think?
I think the T-54.
No, it's a type T62A, but you're right, him, yeah. He's a Tier X. He's got all the DPM, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, you can't spot any other tank now.
No, well, I'm going to get some shots soon. But you can see here, I'm just moving backwards and forwards, not giving them opportunities to actually hit me.
Or hit anyone else.
We've bounced so many shots this game. This is incredible.
And they're easy shots.
Yeah, they're easy shots, aren't they?
Yeah.
You see, even with the game absolutely on the line, I'm still very, very wary of exposing any part of my tank to the enemy. It's really, really scary driving this thing. This Object 268 could switch to HE, and if he got a clean shot at me, it would go straight through and smash me. And big Brit guns with Hesh, they live for tanks like this. I've switched over to gold there. That's the first time we've used gold, I believe. And
actually, second.
Is it? It's the second time we've used gold, according to my statistician here. Why don't you talk me through this? What's going on here?
Most people do this. They're trying with tank destroyers. They are circling them since they can't move their turret. They've got
so true.
Terrible gun depression.
Yep.
They have to move their whole tank, which takes a while.
Yep.
And you can keep circling and shooting.
That is spot on. You will make a great medium tank driver.
Could I drive a medium tank?
Yeah, you sure can.
Yay! Even though I have one.
You do have one.
Free.
Okay, where are we? I think we're with Stealth 251 here.
And also the map for
Patient as Ruckus always tells me, says Stealth 251. There you go, Ruckus. Your message is reaching the world. I'll tell you what, if you're not patient in this tank, what happens?
Prepare to go home.
Yeah, prepare to go home. If you're not patient in this tank, prepare to go home. So we're up here again. Look at me. I'm in cover. I'm exceptionally ready to pull back, but I see there's no one there. We're in the cap. I am an old hand at this map. I know what's happened. The entire red team is obviously a bunch of bridge noobs, and I'm already on the way back to a fantastic little firing position on this right-hand flank. Here I am. Oh, happy days. Dual IS-6s going bridge. This was never going to work, boys and girls. This is why this map needs to be changed, and I think they are, in fact, doing some renovations on this one. And you can see the tank does well. Like any tank would do well in this situation. Uninterrupted shots, hull down into an enemy that can't see it. I mean, what doesn't like doing this?
Tries to run away, never gets to.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Halfway through the cap.
halfway through the cap, that's right. And we're just smashing it into the unprotected flanks of tanks. We climb up here. Because you do have gun depression, you can see down, and we're going to try and let the binoculars click in. But he's coming anyway. 54 go. This is why I knew there was campers there, because no one else is up on the map yet. Stealth's pushing on this poor old T-54. This is what you got to do with this tank.
Why the hell is he doing that?
He's pushing on him because he's going to smack him up. I think they've actually got like a type as well. Or is it a type 59 or a type 61? Yeah, I forget. Bridge forever. Bridge is good, hey? No.
I've never gone to the bridge.
Yep, never go to the bridge. That's exactly right. Frogs don't bounce, the sky is blue, water's wet, and don't go bridge. The truths of life. Can I have some of your chips? You mongrel. Here we are again on Canal. Yes, Canal. And guess what I'm doing? This is almost a carbon copy, isn't it? But you'll see I do change it up a little bit here. I'll tell you what this tank is good for. It, much like the Leopard PTA, if you can get through and make this into a tank that you're actually a positive to your team, you've really, really improved your driving in all your vehicles. It makes you super map aware, and it makes you...
Be aware of the map.
Yes, be aware of the map. You can't take time off. You've always got to be watching where everyone is. You've got to be very conscious of...
And you also need to be firing like mad.
Firing like mad is good. Pressing the button as hard as you possibly can. I find that helps.
Suppose that happen, or you'll jam your whole screen if you press it too hard.
Yeah, this is true. We've done this before. So here I am. You'll see I'm just working this ridgeline. I'm never giving anyone a really easy shot at me. I'm very aware that there's a Conqueror over on the right, and I don't want to get done, but I know that there's someone over there spotting for me.
I can't see any Conqueror. You mean the Conqueror of the world?
No, the Conqueror
Get
is
out
on
of
the
here!
right.
Oh, Conqueror of the tank.
The Conqueror of the tank is on the right-hand side, and he's just popped there, so we'll be on our merry way over here. We're looking for other shots.
Like the Conqueror?
But there's the T-54, or the Comet rather. Take him out. We're on a hill in the middle of a whole lot of red tanks, but we're still not getting hit because we're very, very, very aware. We're going to get hit by this 54. He's finally pushed up, but we're very aware of where everyone is and what we need to do to not be hit by them. And we're basically running the table on this game. We're spotting targets, and this is less about this tank. It's far less about this tank. You could do this with anyone. This is far more about being aware of your surroundings and knowing where the other tanks are, what their capabilities are, where they're likely to be, where they can hit you from, what kind of gun depression they have. All those kind of things factor into this. And with targets like this, you're not going to miss too much. I mean, you can see the Conqueror here. I'm not spotted. I will be now. I'm backing up.
Smashed.
And I'm going to let camo reset. Now, this is just standard tactics. Once I'm pretty sure camo's had a chance to reset, I'll move up, take my next shot, pull back. There it goes, flying over the top of me. We now move up. Peek-a-boom, 101. And he's gone. Just the sent one left. Talk us through this last part.
So, what we're trying to do now is corner him so he's not got too much to do, but just try and put damage into us. And he's going to get a kill from us. 3 kills. And let's see how much damage we got. So, right now we got... Well, I didn't get to see that. Now we are in the Lost Temple, and we're just on the hill looking for some enemies and take cover. if they fight. Bushka's just put me on to the headphones, so now
I'm having a tea.
we're going down and we're trying to find cover and looking for some enemies to spot, and now we're going up the hill trying to get a few shots into the enemy team. The T125, I think it is over there. And
Jeez, they got some big tanks, don't they?
yeah, since we don't have that much players over here, we need to take a fair bit of cover.
We just reset camo, didn't we? Reset camo?
Yeah, and just put shots into them so they can't do that much to us.
This is a good example, isn't it, of how you play a tank with no armour when you've got a whole lot of massive guns that can just about one-shot you.
Yep. T125 was the first one I could destroy that day with the Death Star, so I know you have to be aware of that. So right now we are putting shots into probably the second biggest tank in the game.
Yeah, the Jagdpanzer E100, right on.
Now we're going for the M46.
Now that is Stealth 251's younger brother. He did a count-in with us on this map. So he's playing for the enemy in the pattern.
Wow. Now what's happening is we're just going across the bridge. No one's here. We're going to take shots from the back. Great damage. Take that tank. Take the tanks out and probably win the game.
There's a good chance we win the game. We'll be putting it in here if we lost.
Now...
But they've got more tanks than us.
Yeah, but it was 4 versus 1. He survived and we won the game. No jokes.
See, look, we got no armour, so we're just finding ways to contribute without actually being visible, so they can't hit us.
Just trying to put shots into them, help our team, and just wait for them to be spotted. We got an IS-7 taking out T124.
We're waiting, that Stealth's brother. We're just waiting for him.
Yep.
He's not coming out and giving us a shot.
Now what we're doing is we're trying to get that good old
Jagdpanzer
E100. Now that pattern is coming for us.
So we bail.
We're suicide, everybody. We just blew the second biggest tank in the game up.
Oh, what's that over there?
There's a T125.
Just trying to track him.
And we missed it.
Stealth's had a massive game. Big carry. We're trying to leave his brother till last.
Now what we're doing is getting T125. Bye-bye. Now we're just trying to do it the old deck times with those tank destroyers. Since he isn't...
Now we're going to troll his brother.
Bye-bye, Stealth's brother. Your brother's going really angry at you, so I'd rather you take him out. Now it's brother versus brother, and our platoon, the person we're platooning with is winning.
He's going to ram a pattern to death in a T-54.
Oh my gosh! That is crazy. Do you have any ammo? That is just silly.
So what do you think of the Type 61, mate?
I don't know. I think it's terribly good.
Well, yeah, it is. It's terrible, but it can be good. All right. Let me have the mic again.
I want to talk.
You can still talk a bit. All right, so that's the end of the review. So the only way, really, I think, to play this tank with any success is to use the gun depression and the penetration and camp it up a bit. You really have to. And you saw there, even in a tier 10 game, you can be effective, and you could do that with any tank. Because although the mobility is pretty average for a tier 9 medium, it feels more like a Cent than it does a T54, for instance, but not as bad as a Cent. You really have to be conscious at all times of incoming fire. You cannot just pump damage straight away like you can in a T54. You can't over push. You can't angle to bounce. You won't bounce. You are going to get filled up by everyone. Bounces are rare as hen's teeth. You have to build your damage over a period of time. And platoon with tanks that are pretty strong, like 54s, ST1s, E75s, anything that can push a line, hold a line, give you...
T62A.
Yeah, T62A is probably a tier 10 though, so I won't use that. Anything that you can use that can leverage damage off without it actually getting torn up too much. So they can bounce some shots, and you can be the angel on their shoulder. And if you do have to get involved on an urban map, like the top part of Temple there that you saw where I was running around, try to use lines of sight that are as long as possible and get behind cover at all times when you're not firing. Reset camo often. It's a really dangerous tank to drive. It's tough to drive. It's a really challenging tank. I personally think it's probably the worst tank at tier 9. I mean, there's certainly some other contenders, but it's a tougher tank to drive than the Leopard PTA, and that says something. I mean, that's a tough tank to drive. Armour is non-existent. You've got a huge wart on top of the turret. 0.36 dispersion versus the 0.32 on the PTA. Your penetration numbers are great, though, so be a sniper. Be the guy at the back of the field and try and contribute to your team that way, and support heavy tanks, and always be aware of your surroundings. Anyway, I'm on holiday, so there probably won't be another review out for a wee while. It's been wonderful having you with me all year. We've had a hugely successful year with Bushka on Blitz. The channel's now well over 6,000 subs, over 500,000 views. It just keeps going from strength to strength. If you are interested in becoming a patron, please do follow Patreon. You can sponsor videos. This is a Patreon video because it's a review. It's a helpful video. It's something that value adds to the team. I'd just like to say thank you all for having me. Stay safe on the battlefield.
And he's also very grateful for having all you guys here. He's very happy that this is the last video because he's been tired and he needs a big break from all this. So thank you guys for watching Bushka and Bushka Jr. on Blitz.
See ya.
Bye.